Look up.
I think we're about to have some company. Stop the car.
What? What?
Stop! Go, 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 reverse! Laura.
Do you remember this? I mean, if this is happening to me, it already happened to you, right? Unless it works more like a... So, Bunny 50, is it really bad?
It's not great.
Find him.
Get ready to run.
What is happening?
You know what you have to do. Stop time travel from ever being invented. Boom.
What's your plan?
Well, I'm not going to explain my plan to a 12-year-old nerd with an
You don't
inhaler because I do
have
not
a
have a
plan.
plan, but I know somebody who does.
Dad.
I'm the godfather of time travel?
The Atom Project. We don't pull this off, we're not getting back. What do you say, kid?
Punch that shit.
Oh, yeah. I spent 30 years trying to get away from the me that was you. And I'll tell you what. You were the best part all along. How'd you get to be so smart?
How'd you get to be so dumb?
Nice try.
How did you all get to be so sexy? That's the real question.
And
Hi, welcome to the periodic table of awesome.
And a lesson was learned, giant.
Sexy beasts.
And a lesson was learned, giant head, Quinny. You've gotten incredibly larger than you usually
Sorry.
were.
I'm gonna just lean back a little bit. Sorry about that.
But that's okay.
Was that a little intimidating? Me just going, "Hello, you sexy people."
Yes, it's a little bit too much like Big Brother, I feel.
Right. Well, I am indeed watching you.
Unless you're like leading in to be like, it's me from the future.
Yep. I remember reading a book when I was growing up that had a character in it called Yos. And I was super excited. I don't know if it was Space Demons or something like that, because I remember that whole conversation we had. And there was a character called Yos, and Yos standard stood for your older self. And I was like, oh, that's such a lame name, but I love it.
I think it was Space Demons.
Was it Space Demons? I don't know.
No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it might have been part of the trilogy.
Right. Because, I do just remember that whole Yos thing and going, it's a little on the nose, isn't it?
Yes. Well, anyway.
Yos, Queen.
Yos.
Anyway.
Oh, God. Oh, well,
who are we all? I'm Quinny. I don't know about the rest of you. Who are you?
Oh my goodness, we haven't done introductions in ages.
No. I just thought it would be different. Something
Yeah,
interesting.
why the hell not? Hi, I'm
Sure.
Jill.
Hi, Jill. Man with beard. Who are you?
Well, I mean, unless the name doesn't give it away, it's Dion. Hello.
I'm doing it for the audio listeners, Dion.
The who?
The people who only listen to the podcast.
The who? The where? The what? We've gone digital, Quinny. We no longer worry about the dead formats. We just worry about this live one. Stay tuned to next month when we go full TikTok. It's just 15-second shows. But we just pin them all together. So still an hour of content, but we're just delivering it at 15 seconds at a time.
Oh.
Get your music requests in now.
Yep. Apparently I've watched more than enough TikTok and now participated in more than enough. And last lovely person, who are you?
I'm Peta.
Yay.
Hello. And Quinny, where are you? Because we missed a show a little while back. And let's perhaps explain what happened to said show.
Okay. So my house got a bit damp, a bit floody through the walls, and became a bit moldy through the walls and through the floor. The best part about it, the really weird part about it, was when I was in the kitchen and we've got nice big tiles in the kitchen. They're very shiny tiles, and in between the tiles, dirty water was coming up through the gaps and eating away at the grout between the tiles.
Oh my God.
And we're like, that's probably a bad sign and maybe a reason to not live in this house anymore.
Especially if the water is eating through tiles. Anyway, look, I mean, all I'm saying, it might not have been water. It could have been acid.
Could have been any number of things, but it was definitely coming from somewhere dirty and smelly.
I told you this, Quinny. Stop buying places underneath meth labs. You won't have these sort of issues.
Well, sometimes, needs must as the devil drives. But now I have moved to a new place, and it may sound different. It may look different. I don't know. It doesn't look any different because I've got a fucking virtual background like a dickhead. But it's very nice, and I have a lovely view. And one of these days, I'll actually turn the camera, the virtual background off. Hi, welcome back, Peter. How are you?
She's fine if you don't mention it.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
But you know
Just
what?
keep going along like nothing is happening.
Okay, you know what? I think I don't know whether you're about to say this, Jill, but I reckon if we were just to go back in time and start this whole fucking thing again.
I was going to say, at least your internet connection seems a bit more reliable.
I know, isn't it amazing?
You haven't dropped out yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just wait. It's only 7:40. At 8 o'clock, I'm sure it'll just fucking bottom out and go to shit.
Do you mean you're not locked into some sort of internet provider?
No, I have proper NBN now, not LBN. Whatever the fuck LBN is.
LBD?
No, it's called.
Now I think about it, I'd probably better cancel that.
That's called
VPL.
It's called the Limited Broadband Network. You signed up for the one. It's delivered to you straight from your NLP representative.
Yeah.
Anyway,
honestly, yeah, I can't remember what the L stood for, but it was called the LBN, and it was only certain houses got it. It was shit. It was. And we were locked into having to use it. So anyway, that's got nothing to do with tonight's movie that we're talking about.
Yes, it does. It's a perfect segue because I feel I was locked into watching this movie because it was on Netflix and I pay for Netflix and it was made by Netflix. So I had to watch it because it was on Netflix.
I think you understand how streaming services work.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to come to your house.
Ryan Reynolds is not going to come to your house and start
tie you to a chair.
Aw,
I don't know.
that's how all the best fantasies start.
Yeah. With the amount of money I think we collectively pay Netflix, we should be able to get Ryan Reynolds to do a personal visit for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have time. Does that man ever stop working? Oh my God.
Apparently not. He's a very busy boy. Sorry. This is the other thing. I'm also still kind of sick. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. It's been
fingers crossed, no COVID.
In 2 weeks. What was that? No COVID.
Fingers crossed, no COVID.
Yeah, in a big way. Don't want that. It's a cough. Is it spicy? I don't know.
I have to say this looked like a fun movie, and after the time that I committed to watching The Tomorrow War, I thought, how bad could it be? So it seemed like a decent idea to get onto this one. Not a huge commitment. It's not a series. It's a regularly lengthed movie.
It's got a more likable lead.
It's got a kind of a cool cast. Yeah,
it's 13 going on 30 part 2.
Yeah.
Featuring Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And if nobody has seen 13 going on 30, I highly recommend it because it is a brilliant movie. Yeah. I love it.
That wasn't Jennifer Garner, was it?
Yeah.
Yes,
it was.
Amazing.
and Mark Ruffalo.
Oh shit, was it?
That's why I said it.
I didn't know about the Ruffalo part. I was like, well, I thought you were just talking about, person meets younger version of themselves.
No, it was very specifically Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo romance film.
Oh my
God. I think
God.
it's an excellent example of men being allowed to age and women not being allowed to age, because I'm pretty sure Jennifer Garner still looks exactly the way she looked when she shot that movie.
Yes.
Like, exactly. But I love Jennifer Garner.
Same.
And would pretty much watch anything that she was in.
Yeah, sadly, I
seen
did
Electra?
watch Peppermint.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I actually know I did not watch that
slightly shit Jennifer Garner films. He's like, have you watched Electra? Have you watched Peppermint? Have you?
Hey, don't drag Jennifer Garner. She's been dragged enough. She had to, she had to be
no.
married to Ben Affleck.
Mm.
Hey, she did Daredevil, and that was okay.
Look,
I still love Jennifer Garner.
it's a Netflix movie.
People make mistakes.
It's a Netflix movie full of people who've been in Marvel movies.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it though?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Where is this little boy going to show up next?
Oh,
Got to put him in a Marvel movie now.
Yeah, young Captain America.
oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
I could
Although,
see that.
I don't know if Catherine Keener has been in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Wasn't she the voice of Dr. Octopus in?
No.
No.
Nope.
Oh no, that was Agatha. Oh, fuck, my bad.
That was
Catherine Hahn.
Yes,
her
I knew
real
it was a
name?
Catherine.
It's her person name.
Yes.
No, I don't think she has been in anything related to. I mean, she's been close. If you consider like Death to Smoochie is part of the Marvel universe.
That's one of the longest bows I've ever heard you draw.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of targets here, Quinny. I'm looking through Catherine Keener's like list of work, which is great, but it doesn't exactly mesh with.
Hey,
I mean,
she was in The Incredibles. Or in The Incredibles too.
True.
That makes her kind of a superhero.
She was also in
you know-
the Croods, so let's not use that one as the thing. Anyway, well, yeah.
I feel like we might be getting like a little bit off track
Yeah, I
trying
have
to make
no idea what
every
you're
actor in
talking
this
about.
film having been in a Marvel film. It's not. What is this film about, Quinny?
Okay, Dion,
it
do you have
even
any
called?
cool, like, essentially meaningless 80s rock
I
that
have
is inoffensive in every way?
excellent. What is the Adam Project about?
After accidentally crash landing in 2022, time-traveling fighter pilot Adam Reed teams up with his 12-year-old self on a mission to save the future. There, that's it. That's the official Netflix one, and everyone's just used that one, and it's very short.
Oh, that was it. Okay, well,
Yeah,
that was,
sorry. Yeah.
that was very disappointing.
So I love that people are coming in late and going, "What did I miss?" Nothing.
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 Nothing. It's been a particularly slow starter.
20 minutes of waffling.
Yeah,
Yes,
a whole bunch of bullshit.
You're fine. Look, I liked this film when I saw it in 3 other films. Is that
yes,
okay?
but did any of those have Ryan Reynolds in them?
2 of them did.
No.
No,
Yeah.
not really. I mean, I kind of looked at this one and went, "This is just." I got a little bit sad that it was kind of a boys' own adventure. Again.
Oh, it wasn't just me. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I thought I was just being a sensitive feminist.
I was getting very upset with how bland I was taking it, and then I went back after I think Jill reminded me of the last stuff, not the last start, Flight of the Navigator. I think you said.
Oh,
something
yeah,
about
right,
that,
yeah.
Jill. Didn't you? I thought you said that
Jill's
to me.
like, I
I've
have no
never
idea
heard
what
of
you're
that
talking
thing.
Then maybe perhaps it was not you if you have not heard of Flight of the Navigator. That doesn't matter. I'm just you're getting the credit. Just be like, sure. Remember, take credit like a middle-aged white man. Yes, I did say that.
Unless it gets me in trouble. Then I backpedal.
No, then you hand it off to someone else.
I've never met that woman. I do not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like it reminded me. I went back and I looked at like the Last Star. Like, so not last. Why do I keep going Last Starfighter?
Well, because that's also kind of the last. The Last Starfighter. It's a lot of this as well.
Yeah.
It's straight up fucking preteen wish fulfillment fantasy shit.
Yeah.
Directly out of the 80s, and whether it be Flight of the Navigator, or whether it be Last Starfighter, or whether it be The Boy That Can Fly, or all that kind of stuff.
And like, I mean, but then once I got over that kind of thing, and forgave it all of its other many errors, I was kind of like, that was fine. That's going to entertain a party of 7 to 12 children on a Saturday afternoon.
30 to 50
If that's what it's
hogs.
for,
Yeah.
if that's what it's for, then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't want to be hateful about it, but I was kind of like, any one of these actors could have delivered this in half a day of shooting and been like, yeah, I got it, no problem. But it was also kind of well tied with the young Adam.
And he's good.
Actor. Yeah.
Like, I think he is very, very good. He does. I buy him as young Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Walker Scobell, as he is. He does quite well. Yeah.
So, I mean, the synopsis is brief, but a slightly expanded one is that Ryan Reynolds arrives from the future to try and fix the future by going back in time to the past. It's all a bit, Back to the Future. It's all a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. All those films that you mentioned before. And it does it perfectly fine. There are some big fighty bits with not legally distinct lightsabers. There are, lots of people in armor that disappear.
Well, I mean, that was one of those horrifying things where I was like, "Oh, cool robots," and then it was like, "No, there's dudes in those suits," and I'm like, "Oh, mass murder! Ooh, that's a lot of erasing from the time stream stuff that you're talking about there." And I'm like, "I am not okay." Anyway, that's fine. But I mean, this came about because because of the writer T.S. Nolan, who you may remember from the Maze Runner films.
Okay.
Yes. And he also co-wrote the Pacific Rim Uprising screenplay.
I liked that movie.
I did. I remember very clearly sitting next to you in a screening room, looking across at your big, big, happy smile.
But this one was a spec script bought off T.S. Nolan, and then a lot of other screenwriters were attached. And it feels a bit that way too.
Though, interestingly enough, when it was originally going to be made 10 years ago, it was going to star Tom Cruise. Yeah. And it feels like it too. You can imagine it. Like, except with Tom Cruise, it'd be a lot less fun.
Yeah. A bit more serious.
I'd have to say there wouldn't really be much of a preteen aspect to the audience watching this film. It's got Tom Cruise in it.
I mean, how the hell am I supposed to buy Mark Ruffalo as, Ryan Reynolds' father?
I don't think we can really put anyone in as his parents. He was just immaculately conceived from a lot of people's fantasies.
Ryan Reynolds is just a gestalt of everybody's hopes and dreams.
Yeah, pretty much.
And thirst. All kind of just smooshed into one sexy man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And the amount of hate that I see from people saying Ryan Reynolds is the same in every movie. I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah,
that's why we watch his movies, because we like Ryan Reynolds. He doesn't need to act. There are actors that do acting. Ryan Reynolds does Ryan Reynolds, and that's what we pay to watch.
It's true. He's a likable character that whenever he comes on the screen, if he doesn't have rapid fire dialogue and is subtly sledging everyone, no one cares. No one was like, I want to go and watch, Oh, what was that one, the really good one that he did, but he didn't really do that a lot? Buried.
Oh, that was a good movie,
good.
though. Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, Ryan Reynolds acting.
Which was just him in a box.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Go ahead and go on with that. And no, I disagree, Tari. Ryan Reynolds is not the new Nicolas Cage. Because Nicolas Cage is batshit fucking insane.
Like, I feel like Robert Pattinson is a new Nicolas Cage, if we're going to like...
Yes.
Well, I mean, haven't seen the Batman yet, but like, no, Nicolas, like, okay, maybe if you fed Ryan Reynolds on meth, he could be the new Nicolas Cage. If he just stopped being a decent human being and took meth, I'd be like, okay, new Nick Cage, great, go.
I can imagine in 10 years or 15 years time, like Robert Pattinson will just be taking every fucking weird role that he can, and by that point we'll be like, oh yeah, no, you have ascended to cagedom.
No, that's Daniel Radcliffe. He's already there.
Oh, Daniel Radcliffe is in a league of his own. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's a whole different thing.
I fucking love that Daniel Radcliffe is currently in the Weird Al Yankovic biopic.
Yes.
And I'm just like, thank you. That's just perfect.
I love that he made and he knows, and he already said, it's like, I made enough money to retire. Now I just do whatever the hell I feel like. It's kind of like I feel like we could send him an email or email his agent with like, I've got a spec script I want you to be in, and he would probably read it and be like, yeah, all right, let's do it.
This movie is so bland that we've somehow got ourselves onto Daniel Radcliffe instead of actually talking about the movie.
I mean, you make a good point.
Let's get back to the Daniel project. So
The Adam.
No, we're moving on. It's the Daniel project now. So
From now
what
on-
do you think? We're going to pitch him the idea. I mean, he went into film with guns bolted to. Oh wait, sorry, no, the Adam project. Yes.
Yeah.
Time travel. He's a fighter pilot from the future, where there seem to only be 2 planes capable of traveling into the past.
I don't really
Yeah.
understand why the future was so dependent on being saved, and we never got to see any of it.
I think that's my biggest fucking problem with the film as a whole, actually. Like,
Yeah.
I love like, there's this whole thing of we have to save the future, we have to save all these things, and all we see is 2 jets dogfighting. And there's a bit where Ryan Reynolds says, hey, you've seen Terminator? Yeah, like, it's worse than that. And we're like,
Yeah.
I mean,
like what? Are there robot skeletons going around killing people?
No, it's worse than that.
Here's a problem. Dogfighting.
What does that mean?
Dogfighting doesn't exist in the present. Like, there
No.
are no aerial to air dogfights anymore. It doesn't happen that way. They just launch rockets at each other from 50, 60, 100 Ks away. Like, it doesn't happen anymore. So why would they backtrack to do that in the future? And also,
because it looks better on film.
Sure, I know, absolutely. Like, I mean, if I wanted to watch dogfights in the sky and plane movies, I'd go and watch Stealth again. Ugh. But, yeah, okay, fuck. One of the other things I was like, the big thing that really got me in this logic bombing of this kind of stuff was, if the pilot is injured, the plane stops working.
Yes.
And I was like,
it works on biometrics, but only like if the DNA is inside the body.
Yeah. So if you whack off too often, does the plane stop working? I'm sorry, there's too much of your DNA not in your body anymore.
What? Yeah, which is really strange because, like, in an aerial dogfight where you're launching like bullets at each other, if a bullet goes through the pilot,
wait.
Suddenly the plane.
I was going to say, wouldn't he be injured before he got in the plane? But then, how did he fly the plane?
I don't think the plane immediately stops working. I think that you can't like start it up again. Kind of like if you've got like a keyless car and you accidentally like start the car and then leave the key at home. Like, you're fine until you turn the car off and then you're fucked. I felt like that was the kind of issue.
I mean, if he'd been shot whilst flying the plane, I would have kind of gone, oh, okay, fair enough. But it's indicated that he's been shot before he got in the plane. So
good point there, Adsky. Sorry. Yeah, should we have spoilers up, or what are we talking
Oh,
about?
no, yeah. Like, it's the first 5 minutes he gets shot in the plane.
Yeah. I don't really think that that's a real huge spoiler.
Yeah, it's not like that was the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
It was just the premise. And we have problems with the premise.
Fair cop, though. If we're doing something wrong, call us out and be like, motherfuckers, what are you doing? Like, wrong. Start again. Anyway. Yes. Why is this? Well, yeah. I mean, what is this about? It opens with Ryan Reynolds traveling back into the past to come back to stop something about time travel.
Yeah,
so
but also save his wife.
Yeah, is the thing that gets confusing a little bit later on, where you're like, okay, hang on, so what happened? Okay,
so initially he's trying to save his wife.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he's trying to save the future. Like, at first he's like, there is no like grand plan or anything. There's just like, the
plot in this is like a service station or a gas station sandwich. You look at it in the packet, it looks like it's full and amazing and everything's great. But if you open up the sandwich and lay it out and open up the 2 pieces of bread, it's just a little bit of filling and then it's just mainly bread.
I mean, having said that, if you're hungry, like that service station sandwich could taste pretty good.
Yeah. You'll probably regret it later, though, depending on how long it's been there for.
I've regretted the Tomorrow War way more than the time.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
given
yeah.
this.
God, yeah.
Like, ultimately, if you don't think about it too hard, this is an entertaining piece of entertainment.
The Tomorrow War had salmonella, but this one is all right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tomorrow
As far as
War.
gas station sandwiches go.
Yes. The Tomorrow War was 6-month-old egg salad.
Oh.
Oh.
Dicey.
Yes.
Oh.
And then this one is just kind of like a disappointing ham and cheese.
It's a dry ham and cheese sandwich, but
dry.
it's still
It's like,
tasty.
you're like, it's still
Yeah.
ham and cheese, but yeah, fair enough. Like I'm
I
probably
mean, there's some fun stuff about this, you know,
Yes,
the action scenes and people dissipating when they die in the present, like that's visually fun.
Yeah.
calling out stuff as like with cultural touchstones within the last 5 or 10 years as things is going to date pretty hard.
Yeah.
But they're not like this isn't going to be one of those ones that they pull off the shelf and release as a Blu-ray and go, can't wait for the extras behind the scenes of this one.
It really doesn't. And I think one of the things I like about it is that it doesn't have pretenses to anything about that. Like, it is very, very much wearing its heart on its sleeve and going, I'm a dumb action film. I'm aimed at kids. I'm going to be fun. Let's have some cool shit where the kids don't say shit because they're not allowed to say shit. No, bad word.
I'm aimed at kids and particularly probably aimed at young boys or masculine identifying people because, you know, this is the boys save the day.
Yeah.
You know, there's a mother and there's a love interest.
And
It's
a bad
a
lady.
bit of a family watch.
It's a family watch.
I have an opinion about the finale wrap up of that, but I'll save that for the spoiler section.
Yeah.
In the sense that I that would give away the ending. But yes,
Right.
is this aimed towards young males? Yes, and all I say is maybe a lot of writers should go and get some therapy.
Well, yes. And to be honest, if it was like a stronger thematic link with boys and men and their relationships with their fathers and how important that was, I would be like, you know what, fair cop. But it wasn't really about that. So it was just like a little bit annoying that it didn't even scratch the surface of the Bechdel test.
This one went back in time and tried to erase the Bechdel test from happening.
Sure.
I mean, it wasn't, you know, it's not terrible. It was just kind of, you get to that point where it starts to get like a bit irritating to watch.
Yes.
To be like, oh, so
At
the
least
boy and the older boy and the dad now have to save the world.
At least they saved a fridging for later in the film. They didn't open with it. So, you know, that's kind of
Already one up on Kingsman.
Yeah. So far up on Kingsman. Yeah. Wow, we've done a lot of dude-centric savior films in the last couple of
We
weeks.
really need to see if we could find some more lady-centric narratives. Please send us more. And to Jill and Peter, please.
Well, next week is full of lady-centric narrative. I just remind you, next Tuesday with the Pixar picks, or Disney Pixar picks.
There's a couple.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a lot more in there, but you know, that's still. But yes, suggestions welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the action elements of it are fun enough, I guess. Like, they feel very, you know, by the numbers. We're gonna
textbook,
do some,
I was going to say. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
we're gonna do some cool fighty stuff, and there's gonna be some cool shooting people in the face, and then some cool lightsabery jewelry stuff.
I mean, if you've already spent all the money training the two leads to do that stuff, why not get Deadpool and Gamora to fucking stand on a screen and do all the things that they've done in other films before?
Although I could very obviously tell when Ryan Reynolds' stunt double was doing the work and not him because it was very obvious cuts.
Ryan is a very busy man. Gin does not sell itself. And he has-
No. No, he's got to spend at least 5 to 10 hours a day just trolling Hugh Jackman
Sure.
mercilessly.
Absolutely. Does anyone else think that, like, honestly, he has shot at least 2 or 3 gin commercials in the same locations as some of these, like, places that's set in Canada? Like, it's set in default Canadian wilderness.
Yeah, that really did get to me actually too. I was like, oh, good, we're back in, outback of somewhere near Vancouver. Where is it cheap to shoot? The redwoods, cool. But I mean, I have looked at that and seen some of the making of. It's all a set. It's not shot much live or on location at all.
Yeah.
So there is a part of me that then goes, why not make it more interesting?
If you were cutting corners with the locations.
That's because all the other productions were currently in those cool looking areas of Canada.
Right.
Getting their shots done. I kind of feel, I don't know, I kind of felt like this whole, like, I feel like it's being mean to the film, but it's not. It's like, I feel like all the B units.
I feel like Peter thinks we're being mean to the film.
I feel like all the B units.
The head's getting more and more on the side as we go.
I feel like all the B camera units got together and shot all of this, like, off the side of other projects they worked on. But because they're so good, they can just roll it in. Like, they've just kind of like, oh yeah, we can get that done, no problems, like, including all the special effects. It's like, it's high level, it's pretty high quality, but I do feel like that they just were like, oh, we finally finished that massive project and we've got like another day. We did a day early. Oh, better get on the Atom project. Oh yeah, we'll just knock a few of them out. Like, that's how it kind of felt to me. And I was just like, yeah, fair enough. This is what it is. Like,
It's funny because, like, this reminds me of all of those films that you would see in the VHS, in the video stores, and you'd get 5 of a week. You get your weekly 5 movies, and there'd probably be 1 or 2 in there that may be kind of good. The other 3 probably shit, but that's okay because you've got 5 for the week, and you can watch the good one twice.
And they knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, just have a look at the poster. The poster is a very Drew Struzan style.
Absolutely.
Like, they knew, and it's kind of, it's nice to find a film that knows that.
It is.
Honestly, I feel like we're being fairly bitchy about a film that's like not super terrible, and that probably is exactly what it set out to be.
I really enjoyed the interactions between older Adam and younger Adam. I thought the self relationship thing was like, it was fun.
Yeah, and I like that they didn't have to spend too long, hiding that he was the older version of himself or anything like that. I think that would have been tedious fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that interaction was nice. I like Zoe Saldana. I think she's great. Wish she had more to do in the film.
Yeah.
I know, it kind of feels like everything I see Zoe Saldana in, though. Like, I don't know why. Like, I like her in all of this stuff. It feels like every time she's in an action movie, she feels like she's just on the side of everything, even though she could literally, she's been carrying everyone else. Her back hurts for so many years of carrying a lot of dude films.
Yeah, she could definitely lead her own movie. I don't know why she keeps being put in as like the sidekick to the dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, I really hope that the Avatar sequels give her something more to do.
Wouldn't that be nice? But at the same time, that those films are just going to be a whole bunch of giant blue dudes. And hopefully, I don't know, something more than unobtainium.
More sequels that nobody asked for.
Yeah,
but think of the visuals.
I mean,
Peter,
the funny thing is,
you don't know anything about shooting underwater. You don't know what it's like to capture.
I mean, the funny thing is we're so spoiled for choice on visually stunning stuff these days. Like when you were saying, Quinny, it's like, something that you'd pick up weekly at a video store. I think we're forgetting how bad straight-to-video movies in the 80s looked.
Oh, yeah.
This looks fine, but I think it's because the technology is such these days that you can't. It would be hard to make anything look as bad as those films did.
And there was a lot of, like, obviously the technology for de-aging people has gotten a lot cheaper because there was a lot of that at different points in time, and I was like, okay.
It's still a little bit weird though.
Yeah.
Still doesn't quite get there.
We still somewhere in that weird uncanny valley where it's like, yeah, cool, but not quite.
Yeah.
Should we do we want to give it a number? There are some spoilers.
Yeah, I really
Sure.
don't
I think
think I've got much more to say about it.
Yeah, like there are things that I do want to say, but they are kind of spoilery. But also, like, the thing is, I think people will watch this and go, "Oh yeah, that was fun."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think for a straight up popcorn Saturday evening, no fucking worries, nothing to concern yourself with kind of film, it's very serviceable.
I wouldn't even call it Saturday evening. It's a Saturday afternoon. I just need something to distract, 8 to 12, 10 to 14-year-old kids.
I think you're
Watch the
being
other
harsh on it. I think it is. I think it is family fun, relatively harmless, quite pleasant, occasionally funny.
Yeah.
If you were only pitching it at 8 to 12-year-olds, I'd be like, I think there are a lot of adults who would still get a kick out of this, but then they will never think about it again, ever.
Yeah.
The messaging towards the end is not going to sink in, and I'd be quite surprised if someone was like, "This film gets me." Like,
I do want to talk about that though.
yeah. Well, fair enough. We can do it.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's
So
some ratings
everybody
in the chat,
please. As per usual,
Yes.
you throw up one of those little out of 100s if you have an opinion, if you've watched it. But we who have watched it are on microphone. Give me your numerical scores, and I shall put them into a piece of information.
Well, go Jill. Tell us.
I think I'm gonna go with like a 62.
62.
It was fine. I had fun. I watched it. It was a thing.
I'm
Fair
with you
enough.
on that. It was definitely a thing, and it was fun.
It was like, I like Ryan Reynolds. I'll watch that. And it was much better than Red Notice.
Which
Really?
I haven't watched.
Really? I mean, okay. I thought
Yeah,
the Red
as
Notice
far
was-
as like stuff that Ryan Reynolds has done recently, it was no Free Guy, but it was better than Red Notice.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Okay, that pitches it as an interesting.
Yeah, that throws the grading curve off very slightly for me. I'm like, oh, wow. I mean, I'm only rating this out of 88 because that's the high point of Back to the Future movies. They can only be rated out of 88.
88 miles.
Yes. But I'm gonna I have to knock stuff off because it annoyed the shit out of me. No, that's not how things work. Science fiction is wrong. if it
Nothing is
doesn't-
how things work in time travel movies, Dion.
Yes, it is. The flight through the asteroid sequence in Star Wars is impeccable. For physics, I mean, as a physics teacher myself.
As somebody who is experiencing physics on a daily basis,
yes.
I consider myself a bit of an expert in it.
Yes, as
I
someone who's
know.
done their own research.
Oh no!
I've been experiencing gravity my entire life, and let me tell you, I don't believe in it.
If I can't see it, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
We were talking about the wind caressing my head.
I'm probably gonna drop down to like 68 as well. Like, it's like it's fine. Is that all right? I was gonna say it's fine. It's not terrible. Like,
No.
a lot of the stuff we've had recently has been terrible. But this is fine.
Okay, so sorry, that number again was 60?
8.
68. Oh.
Yes, it lost 20 marks from the highest score it could of 88.
Pete, have you got a number? Why did I say the word number so weird?
I don't know. I mean, 68 probably sounds about, but I'll say 70 because, like, really, it's harmless and entertaining and utterly met my expectations about what it was going to be. I'm not running through the streets telling people that they need to watch it, but yes, does what it says on the box. That's, and so it didn't, aside from the lack of meaningful female characters, except for the baddie, I guess, which doesn't count in the way it was done. Nothing really pissed me off about it. So, yeah.
So that's a 70. Well, I'm going to go somewhere in between all of you and just say I think it was nice. And that's a 69. I think it is a perfectly...
How do I turn Quinny's mic off?
It is a perfectly acceptable film that does a reasonable job of being a fun, rompy action thing that if it was a real full budget, no fucking around film, probably would have had another couple of action sequences in there to really expand it out and maybe, give us that grounding in the future or a little bit more of Zoe Saldana's character or something. Like, I don't know, I felt like in virtually any other film, there would be another action beat in there somewhere. But this felt a little televisual, even though, it's a big budget and all that kind of stuff. It's that Netflix thing,
I feel like if it was a Tom Cruise project, it would have been a lot bigger and a lot grander and a lot weirder. And then they just kind of went, well, we haven't got the budget for it. Like, let's just get Ryan. We'll knock it out. Like, it's fine.
And also, if it had been a Tom Cruise project, I guarantee that the kid would have been way more important. Way less more important. And there would have been a lot more Tom Cruise being a fighter pilot and being cool.
Yeah, when did the
So wait,
this sold?
like Top Gun 2 that we're still waiting on?
Yeah.
Excuse me, that's called Top Gun Maverick. When did you say this was pitched out and it was going to be done?
10 years ago, 2012.
Okay. Really interestingly, 10 years ago, was when
Live, Die, Repeat?
Tom Cruise was in another science fiction film, which is actually pretty good. Oblivion, if you've ever watched Oblivion.
Oh, okay.
So it's it's an interesting tonal shift of, like, he was in a very heavy sci-fi project in the same time. One became Oblivion and the other one sat around for a while, and eventually we got the Atom Project. So interesting to look at those kind of things, because in Oblivion, in case you haven't seen that, he does play opposite himself. So I feel like executives just don't care. They just base everything on like a 2-minute elevator pitch, and they make decisions worth hundreds of millions of dollars based on that, and they just tweak it till they get what they want.
Also in 2014, so this was originally pitched in 2012, so probably would have been coming out around about the same time, Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise, time travel, science fiction. So maybe there was a whole bunch of Tom Cruise doing a whole bunch of sci-fi and going, maybe I shouldn't do this one with a kid.
But
who knows?
Well, kind of. Anyway, well, speaking of kids, I have a clip.
Right.
It's funnily enough where Ryan Reynolds meets himself, or ends up hanging out in his own house. Let's watch the old Ryan Reynolds meet the new, hotter, better, younger Ryan Reynolds.
Hotter? Ew.
Ew.
I mean, hot as in like career-wise. This kid's gonna go far. He'll be fine.
Okay.
This is my father's watch. Carried this watch into the future. My ass.
No, I would say that we all giggled a bit through that. So there's something.
Yeah, it's a funny movie.
There's a lot of funny in there, and that's the thing. Like, if you go into it and just go, oh, give me a bunch of funny lines and some action beats and stuff like that, I think you're gonna go, oh yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, like,
and then in 2 weeks' time, when somebody goes, "What's that new Ryan Reynolds movie?" You'd be like, "Free guy, I don't know.
Yeah. Free guy, free Adam, the free Adam project. Bless you."
Sorry.
Can I do my big logic complaint?
Yes,
please.
You got the spoiler logo up?
Yes.
Yep.
Let's get. All right, let's do this.
Get busy.
Like, just like the entire premise. Like, if time travel is going to be invented,
Yes.
you probably can't stop it from being invented just by destroying like the machine. Other people already know about that research, and even if they don't, if it can be invented, it's gonna be invented eventually. It's like,
Yes.
monkeys writing Shakespeare.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, Peter, you're just caught in the Terminator paradox. Like,
Yeah.
like Cyberdyne has already been invented, so it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So Skynet will always become self-aware, and they can't do anything to retcon it, and there will always be that, and then they'll always have to keep going, and that's why it is. It births itself in the future, and it sends itself back to the past to birth itself. It's an Ouroboros. This film,
But even on a much more basic level, like destroying the collider does not destroy the knowledge and research that has already gone into.
Oh no, it's
building
the little
collider.
crystal hard drive MacGuffin thing that holds all of that bullshit.
And the only place in the world that is
Look,
in the hard.
they haven't.
Oh, and also Mark Ruffalo's head.
They haven't.
So we've got to destroy that too.
They haven't gone
Which
down,
is okay.
They haven't gone down the Bill and Ted time travel route where they're like, remember a trash can, and then that's the thing that saves the day. But they've also, I think they've gone more into the Austin Powers version of it, which is like,
You know what, Austin? Just don't worry about it. Just have a good time.
Oh my God, I've gone cross-eyed.
And that goes for you too.
Oh dear.
I had actually forgotten about the Bill and Ted time travel film.
Yeah. Really? They did 3 of them, unfortunately.
No, the most recent one that we watched. So I'm just now having flashbacks to some very awkward watching.
Oh, yes. Sorry, well done in the chat there, Amy. Thanks for reminding me of the Jean-Claude Van Damme film, Time Cop, which also explains a bunch of stuff. But they just do it in a much better way. Like, you remember in Back to the Future where they had to have the car and the car would hit 88 miles per hour and then go into the past?
Yeah.
They did that in Time Cop, except for the fact that they put people in like a rocket sled and fired them at a brick wall. And occasionally they wouldn't go into the future or the past. They would just hit the brick wall. And I was like, why the fuck would you not just build a longer runway so that you could save people instead of just smearing them into the wall?
Because the future is a bad place, remember? You know the Terminator? Worse than that. Yeah.
I mean, if someone's going to sit there and be like, do that kind of stupid thing. I mean, I got it in Buckaroo Banzai, yeah, but that's because he had the what was that device that let him pass through into the 7th, 8th dimension or whatever it was.
Yes.
Good.
That.
Something oscillator. Fuck, there's watermelon. I don't know.
Also, like in the Terminator future, isn't like all of humanity enslaved? Like, it couldn't possibly be worse than that because Catherine Keener and all of her lackeys are like, no, we like it the way it is.
Well, yeah, because they're the guys, they're the bad guys in charge. But I honestly, I think that's my biggest problem with the film is that like we've got no sense of stakes at all. Like we never see the future. We never see the dad die. We never see like anything that has any weight to it. So it's all theoretical. It's like we never see Zoe Saldana and Ryan Reynolds as a happy couple at any point in time in the future or anything. So we don't know what they're losing. It's this whole thing of there's a lot of telling, not showing.
Yeah, and that's I think that was the weak point of it was it's so wrapped up in its own self of having, Ryan Reynolds and Walker Scobell playing themselves next to each other that it forgot to give us a sense of reason towards all of this. Because, didn't we say earlier, it's like, oh, you think that he's coming back in time to save his dead wife or his missing wife. And then it turns out that no, he's there to stop the future from happening because, there's the future is terrible and, time travel's bad. But like, it doesn't actually explain why the future is terrible.
Well, that also gets really confused too. Like, because she's gone back in time and she went back in time to try and stop time travel. Is that right?
Yes.
But she misses.
Somehow. Which would have been a much more, like, there would have been a much more interesting sense of urgency if, like, she went back in time and was trying to kill Ryan Reynolds' father. I mean, that's interesting.
Ooh.
You know, she's
Yeah.
gone back in time.
Yeah.
She married a dude, and then she went, "Fuck, your dad invented time travel, so I've got to go back and kill your dad to stop him from inventing time travel." And then there would be that thing, wait, I married you, like, oh, like I'm rewriting the film right now. Like, why am I rewriting a better film immediately? And all we get is, you know, Catherine Keener and like some, I don't know, random goon 4 who
Yeah.
is, you know, Catherine Keener's enforcer. And a whole
Another
bunch
prime
of,
example of that man has a facial scar. He must be evil.
absolutely. But I mean, she also had a plane full of agents or what I thought were robots, like dudes in suits, just waiting. And she's in like the evil control ship. Like, isn't he part of a pilot program where they have lots of these planes?
I don't know. I don't understand. Like, yeah. And maybe by asking for this level of thought and everything, we're asking too much of this film, maybe?
Sure. But I mean, yeah.
A little bit.
But they
I
gave
don't think this film is intended to be looked at with such a harsh microscope.
Or in fact, any microscope.
Yeah, unless
if
it's
it
one
would
of
be
those
that-
toy ones that you would get in like a you know, some market somewhere where it's like, it's a $3 microscope. It's like, sure, I'll look through that. Oh, it's a kaleidoscope one. Great.
Yay! Yeah. So
is-
one thing that I will say, there was a moment at the end where, like, honestly, most of the rest of the film completely, you know, uninteresting. The relation, not uninteresting, inoffensive, you know, mostly harmless. But there was a bit towards the end where Mark Ruffalo, and this is one of the most stupid fucking bits, but I actually had a brief moment of going, oh, they did some good there. Mark Ruffalo uses the most aggressive form of love that I've ever seen, where he just keeps telling Ryan Reynolds that he is loved and accepted and he's proud of him. And I was just like, oh, fuck you.
And he essentially Google huntings him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is 100% what I was thinking when it was like, oh, I love you. It's like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
dear.
It was like literally that scene, but with love.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was kind of like, oh, that's really nice and sweet. And that part actually, I had a brief moment of going, okay. But I mean, that was one bit out of 106 minutes.
Yeah, I do check on that. Although the look on Pete's face, she might be suffering an emergency at one point. If your camera goes off, it's okay, Pete. We understand. We'll understand.
No idea what that was.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, maybe it was your
invisible men in suits coming through.
Maybe it was your Google Assistant coughing again in the background.
Coughing and farting at the same time.
You look, it was this okay, and that was also a very interesting way to get towards the end of it, I thought, which was a very nice try and wrap up of, you've got daddy issues, how do we try and resolve this? We'll just kind of love bomb each other, and then it's all nice. And I'm like, that's great, but also you're just completely ignoring the other 3 women, well, technically 4 women, in the film. The wife, you know, the wife of the father, the wife of Ryan Reynolds, the younger version of the evil woman who was actually quite nice, and the older version of the evil woman who is evil.
Yeah.
Again,
for reasons.
For greed. But also, I didn't understand how that worked, because the woman came back in time to tell her younger self to invest in the stocks that gave her the money in order to be able to develop the technology to get herself. So she's in a paradox too.
Yeah, that's a paradox. Like, you can't actually do that because time travel sets up different timelines. So
yeah,
it wouldn't have affected her future.
Yeah, unless you don't believe in that, unless you believe in the concept of there being the single timeline. And then
the hot tub time machine one.
Yeah,
which is how this is set up.
Yeah.
and look, I know that there are no the idea of physics in this film is just a casual, like, it's a slight Google of what physics is. You know, they glanced at the wiki and were like, "Yeah, I got it," and I'm guilty of that. But at no point, yes, but at no point
Also,
can the
something I did love. Oh, sorry, you go.
sorry. At no point can the velocity of a projectile be defeated by the field of magnetism. It can, like,
Oh dear.
100% can it be affected? Yes. Defeated? No.
Dion, it was a really, really, really big magnet.
Yeah.
Really that big, it'd be pulling the fucking blood out of their bodies.
Yes, it would
Like
be
the
pulling
iron
the
from their
iron out of the
blood.
blood. Like, Jesus.
That was definitely a part where I went, "Oh, fuck off."
yeah, like that was just one of that was that one of like, yeah, but everyone else is fine. Like, I mean, you know, what there was, you know, the lightsaber that he was holding would have the gun and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
Clearly all
The
weapons from
fillings
future are
in
made
your
out of
teeth.
plastic.
Yep.
Yeah. Filling, exactly. All of these things that it's as soon as you start pulling at any threads, it really does start to fall apart pretty badly. But yeah, that whole thing with Catherine Keener like really feels like we've gone, okay, we want evil, we want Biff from Back to the Future. We want,
but not even like Biff was a caricature. This wasn't even a caricature. It's like, she is from the future. She is evil, but not even nefarious evil, just corporate evil.
Corporate evil.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, I'm from Dr. Evil's corporate office.
Yeah.
I'm here to inform you that that your career is over. Oh, yes. Okay.
All right.
Killed Quinny there for a second. All right. Yeah.
I'm trying to mute for this, but
No. Yeah.
Oh dear, get Quinny a glass of water.
Yeah, I'm dying here. I'm sorry.
Oh. Do you need your Ventolin? Count to
Probably.
3. Yeah. Okay. I don't really want to pick it apart too much more because I've got everything off my chest about the film. It's like, it's real dumb.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it had the fly like fighter pilot thing ish, and it had the fight scenes, and it had some explosions and some no real stakes, and no one really cared. And at least he got to say goodbye to his dad, or kept his dad. I don't know. I kind of forgot what happened in the end.
Yeah.
Did
I mean,
he
I'm
win?
pretty sure Mark Ruffalo's still going to fucking buy the farm. So
Yeah.
He has to. We learnt that with oh god, what was that character's name? The scientist from Terminator 2, Miles. Remember Miles at the end? Yeah, like oh no, I'll just uninvent it. You're still here. Oh shit! I have to blow myself up to stop the future from happening.
The moral of the story is don't be a dick to your mum.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The other moral of the story is 2018 really wasn't that long ago. When they're talking about time travel, it's like, we're going to go back in time to 2018.
Yeah.
Sure, I mean, at least it was pre-pandemic, so.
That was the one thing I thought, is like, if I could go back in time, I'd quite happily go back to about 2018, right about now.
Yeah.
Which would have been a fun plot point if they'd mentioned.
Yeah, I would 100% have just invested heavily into a few different futures markets. I'm like, yeah.
And that would make you Catherine Keener.
No, Jill, Peter, everyone, it's fine. It's fine.
No generic female hosts.
No lady host. A, B, I don't know.
I'm not the bad person.
That's bus Dion.
Profiting. Yeah, I know we were talking about throwing each other under a bus. I just drive buses onto myself. Like, I just lie underneath them and kick the brakes. I'm like, what's happening? Oh, no, not again. Wasted on my own petard.
What are we doing next week?
Not this film. Let's just be thankful of that. No, we're having fun next week because we're doing 3 films, if memory serves.
Yes.
Sure, mini film.
Now, one thing I have realised is that it's a whole bunch of animation, so Peter's going to love it.
Look, I think Peter's exception is Disney,
to do
though.
Encanto.
Okay.
For weeks, I've been like, when are we talking about Encanto?
We don't talk about Encanto. No.
Great.
Yeah, next week should be fun. And yeah, like big Disney Pixar animations are generally,
Well,
you know,
well,
their own
specifically, which films are we doing next week?
So we are turning red, much like I have whilst coughing, and which I haven't seen yet. We're looking at Luca, which I also haven't seen yet, and Encanto, which I have seen. So I've got some watching to do.
As do I. I have just not been on the Encanto train yet. So
Oh, you got to get on the train.
I do feel like unless I have updated the soundboard on the desk, I might get in trouble. Basically going through at least 2 musicals, I better have at least a song ready.
I would be concerned if you kept on playing the Ghostbusters theme.
Yeah, it's like time for a synopsis. Is that the Ghostbusters theme? Sure. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's vaguely something to do with Encanto. No, it's not.
at least we got rid of that Teen Spirit cover.
Hey, sorry. Takes all.
I was waiting for you to just play it and go, no, it never goes.
Okay, fine.
I'm really excited to check out Turning Red just because the amount of weird reactions to it from dudes. So many.
And conservatives.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to that conversation of going, you know that women are people too, right?
We are.
What?
and what's more, preteen and teenage women have a whole world of experience that a lot of the time doesn't get talked about. What?
Sure. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. And then also, don't forget next week after that as well, stuff coming out. What have we got? Oh, Halo. Moon Knight next week, but
Yay!
then the week after we're getting Batty about bats.
Batty.
We're going to talk about 2 bat people, bat themed people.
Yes.
One is the Batman, and the other is.
I
wish it was the Man Bat.
Oh man, I still love that. That's one of my favorite dumbass things about the DC animated universe.
Yeah.
That it starts and ends with Man Bat.
Hell yeah.
I fucking love that.
I love that we always struggle to have a conversation that goes for less than an hour and 15 minutes, but we've still decided to start doing 2 and 3 films at a time.
Sure.
To see how that goes.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be easy. Can't wait to go and source all those clips and things.
We'll keep it brief.
I hope everyone was reading the ticket today, because we have all of the tickets from the future that we're running through.
Excellent.
Especially there's one that just says Emperor Putin crushes all opposition on the moon.
Oh, awkward.
All right. And then a few more things coming out, and we have almost finished the schedule for May.
Oh Jesus!
I know. Isn't it amazing?
So prepared.
Yeah. We're all there. The only one that I've got to watch, which I'm not looking forward to, is Bel Air.
I think you're really going to have to change your expectations on that.
Am I?
I'm struggling a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. But
some of it is hitting, so some of it is missing.
So you got your homework. You'll have stuff to do next week. Go and watch a bunch of animated movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
For next week, and then watch Bat People.
We are also in discussions about when we're going to be doing the return of Animates. At the moment, of trying to find a Friday night that is free or a day that is around that is also free is proving rather difficult, mostly for me. So my apologies on that.
Well, you did just do an emergency house move, so I'm going to cut you the smallest part of slack.
Thanks. I appreciate that because I need it and I'm sick and my feet hurt and my back hurt.
Thanks very much, Jeff. I don't know. You're just a shape as well.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure as always. Thank you, female host A and female host. And thank you.
Woman-tron.
Peter, may you forever remain the industry, and Jill, may you be forever the most wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you.
But I'll just put myself back under the bus I drove onto myself.
Love you, Dion. You're my
Yeah.
fave.
No, I deserve it. It's all deserved. Can't even feel angry about that.
Thank you,
All right.
and good night.
Bye.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. The powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. With martial arts from iron fist and wall, I'll dance her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind, or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony